Football fans, the Washington Commanders just wrapped up their first preseason game, and head coach Dan Quinn stepped in front of the media afterward with a genuinely candid, detailed breakdown of exactly what he saw from his football team. We are talking real praise for a rookie safety who saw his first career action, a fascinating look at how this coaching staff evaluates preseason performances, a rising special teams captain earning genuine respect from his head coach, and an honest admission about exactly which specific moment from this entire game left Quinn feeling less than thrilled. So settle in, because this post-game breakdown is packed with substance. Let's start with Quinn's overall opening sentiment, because before diving into any specific position battles or individual performances, he made clear exactly how much he genuinely values this particular stage of the football calendar. He explained that watching the rookies finally get their first taste of real game action never gets old for him, specifically because of how much developmental work this coaching staff pours into these young players throughout the offseason. He referenced the extra early mornings, the additional walkthroughs held at night, all in the name of properly preparing these rookies for exactly this kind of opportunity, and he made clear that watching them finally compete never loses its significance for him personally. He also touched on a specific statistical priority this coaching staff consistently emphasizes: the turnover margin, noting that finishing any game with a positive turnover differential of at least +2 remains a central part of this team's overall philosophy regarding taking care of the football. Finally, he expressed genuine appreciation simply for being back in front of the home fans for this specific game, acknowledging that the team will be hitting the road for a stretch of games immediately following this one, making this particular home atmosphere something he specifically wanted to soak in. Now let's dive into the individual player evaluations, starting with rookie safety Sonny Styles, who made his first career appearance during this specific game, playing just a single defensive series. Quinn offered a genuinely honest, unfiltered assessment of that specific unit's performance. He acknowledged that he was not particularly pleased with how the defense started overall, describing that opening stretch as feeling genuinely slow before both sides of the ball eventually found their footing and settled into more of a competitive back-and-forth rhythm as the game progressed. Specifically regarding Styles, Quinn praised his demonstrated technique and overall speed, noting that those specific traits have been on display consistently throughout this entire training camp. Quinn also offered praise for rookie running back Robert Henry, noting that both Henry and fellow back Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt had what he considered a genuinely nice overall performance during this game. He specifically highlighted a moment when starting running back Jerome Ford exited the contest, leaving this team down to a shorter rotation at that position, and pointed out there was genuinely no hesitation or drop-off whatsoever from the remaining backs who stepped into larger roles, including significant special teams responsibilities. Quinn specifically praised Krosky-Merritt for finishing this game with both a first-down conversion and a touchdown late in the contest, describing those specific plays as exactly the kind of physical downhill running style this coaching staff has come to expect from him. When a reporter asked Quinn to clarify exactly how this coaching staff balances evaluating individual player performances against evaluating how specific position groups or personnel packages function together as a collective unit, Quinn offered a genuinely thoughtful, detailed answer. He explained that the evaluation process typically starts by assessing pure individual skill level first, before then shifting focus toward understanding exactly how specific player roles begin to develop into cohesive personnel packages and broader schematic groupings. He referenced specific examples from this exact game, including certain defensive backs working in more situational, man-to-man coverage looks specifically to evaluate how that particular skill translates in a live setting. He emphasized that while none of this preseason game planning carries the same complexity as an actual regular season opponent's specific strategy, there remains genuine evaluative value in observing exactly how these various player combinations and packages perform together on the field, confirming that his overall evaluation process genuinely incorporates a combination of both individual assessment and broader group chemistry analysis. Quinn was also asked about the extended playing time given to veteran safeties Quan Martin and Will Harris during this particular contest, playing more extensively than some of the other returning veterans on this roster. He expressed genuine satisfaction with what he saw from Martin specifically, praising his natural speed and athletic ability to consistently get to the football wherever it ended up on the field. He also praised Harris specifically for his size and physical presence as a genuinely effective tackler. Quinn explained that giving both players extended playing time during this specific contest was a deliberate coaching decision, while acknowledging that the plan could realistically shift again for next week's game, especially given how genuinely deep this team currently is at that specific safety position. He specifically noted that 2 other established veteran safeties were deliberately held out of this particular game, with the expectation that they will see playing time in the following contest instead, framing that overall depth and rotation flexibility as a genuinely positive problem for this coaching staff to manage. Quinn also fielded a question specifically regarding how his 2 coordinators handled their first official game-calling plays together this preseason. His response carried real, genuine praise for both of them. He explained that both coordinators appeared thoroughly prepared heading into this specific contest, acknowledging there will naturally be some communication adjustments to work through moving forward, particularly regarding headset communication and overall game flow logistics. But he emphasized that both coordinators appeared to be in full command throughout the entirety of this game, noting that he specifically spent much of the evening simply listening closely to evaluate exactly how their communication, play-calling timing, and situational package deployment unfolded in real time. He acknowledged that this specific evaluation can actually be somewhat more challenging during preseason contests, specifically because there is no true detailed game plan being installed against a genuine, specific opponent tendency the way there would be during the regular season. Despite that added challenge, Quinn gave both coordinators high marks for how they managed this first collective outing together, also praising the overall collaboration between his broader coaching staff throughout the game. One particularly touching moment addressed during this press conference involved a reporter noting that players who were not dressed to play for this specific game were still actively engaged on the sideline throughout the contest, carrying iPads alongside players who were suited up, standing in on huddles, and actively listening to coaches while offering encouragement and tips to their teammates. When asked how impactful that kind of engagement can be, both for the broader team culture throughout this preseason and specifically for the real-time learning process these younger players are going through, Quinn's response reflected genuine appreciation for that specific dynamic. He explained that this coaching staff had specifically emphasized to players beforehand that regardless of exactly how many snaps a given player might see during this contest, whether that meant playing the majority of the game, only a portion of it before being pulled at halftime, or not playing at all, every single player carried a specific responsibility to demonstrate relentless effort and support for their teammates throughout the entirety of the game. Quinn expressed genuine happiness, though not particularly surprise, at seeing that exact standard fully realized, noting that there was real, visible excitement radiating from that sideline anytime a teammate made a significant play, a level of energy and support he felt not just from the crowd in attendance, but specifically from his own sideline as well. He acknowledged this specific game presented some genuine physical and mental challenges his team had to fight through, including managing fatigue as certain players were rotated in and out, but he framed that overall dynamic as simply part of what makes the preseason experience genuinely enjoyable and valuable. Quinn had previously expressed a desire to see increased competition specifically along the offensive line, which directly led to this organization bringing in additional depth pieces at that position. When asked for his evaluation of how that specific competition has progressed between the recent joint practice sessions and this actual game, Quinn offered genuinely positive feedback, He explained that heading into this stretch, his message to those specific offensive linemen, along with a defensive tackle he specifically referenced by name, centered around wanting genuinely dependable players capable of raising this team's overall standard, and he believed that group delivered exactly that. He specifically praised strong interior pass rush pressure from one particular defensive lineman that directly led to an interception during this game. Regarding the newly added offensive line depth pieces specifically, Quinn expressed genuine satisfaction having them now fully integrated into this competition, noting that their overall involvement and opportunity would likely continue expanding as this preseason progresses, but characterizing their debut specifically as a genuinely strong, encouraging start. There was also a genuinely interesting exchange regarding running back Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt specifically, with a reporter noting that because preseason practices do not involve full tackling to the ground, this actual game represented a much more accurate test of his true playing style, given his tendency to consistently fight for extra yardage after initial contact. Quinn agreed that was a completely fair observation, drawing a direct parallel to a similar situation from a couple years back involving evaluating quarterback sack avoidance during non-tackling practice periods. He explained that in this specific game, he was genuinely eager to see exactly how many additional yards Krosky-Merritt could generate specifically after absorbing real live contact, something practice settings simply cannot fully replicate. Beyond that specific evaluation, Quinn offered broad praise for this entire running back group, describing them as being in excellent physical shape, genuinely focused, and fully prepared for this opportunity, reiterating his satisfaction that this specific position group showed no hesitation whatsoever even when forced into a short-handed rotation during the game. Quinn also fielded a specific question regarding linebacker Ali Cajo-Rex, who saw extended playing time during this particular contest and appeared to be handling notable defensive leadership responsibilities on the field. Quinn's answer revealed genuine appreciation for exactly how far this specific player has developed. He explained that Cajo-Rex has taken on defensive signal calling responsibilities this year, a role this coaching staff did not ask nearly as much of him to handle during his rookie season. While Cajo-Rex had already established himself as a genuinely valuable special teams contributor during that first year, Quinn specifically highlighted the growth he has shown this year in his overall practice habits and technique. That specific growth and development is exactly why Quinn named him this specific game's special teams captain. He specifically grouped Cajo-Rex alongside two other players this coaching staff had directly challenged to return to training camp in genuinely elite physical condition and ready to compete, expressing genuine respect for all three players fully embracing that specific challenge and establishing themselves as players genuinely ready to fight for their roster spots. When pressed specifically on his honest reaction to that rocky opening defensive drive referenced earlier, Quinn did not sugarcoat his assessment. He acknowledged that certainly was not his favorite moment of the entire game, explaining that early on the opposing offense appeared to be generating consistent yardage after contact in the running game. And he was not pleased with how the pass rush allowed a specific opposing player room to operate. Despite that rough start, he felt this team's overall performance picked up momentum from that point forward. He also referenced some early special teams frustration, believing the opponent had actually muffed a catch on the opening kickoff before still managing to piece together a long, sustained opening drive regardless. Quinn admitted that sequence of events left him thinking, essentially, here we go again, specifically because he wanted to genuinely test this team's overall resilience and fight in response to that difficult start. He expressed real satisfaction watching his defense respond by generating stops following that opening drive. Though he reiterated his broader point that this team simply needed to start the game with more overall aggression and energy, clarifying that critique was specifically about the physical intensity of play rather than any specific issue with the actual play calling itself. Finally, Quinn offered a detailed breakdown of his quarterback evaluations from this specific game. He expressed genuine satisfaction watching both quarterbacks handle themselves within the natural chaos of a preseason contest, specifically praising how effectively backup quarterback Sam Hartman managed the game clock during a 2-minute drill situation at the end of the first half, ensuring the opposing offense would not get another possession before halftime while still allowing this team to capitalize with points of their own. He offered similarly detailed praise for how another quarterback communicated and managed a 4-minute offense situation late in the game, emphasizing just how significant it is for a quarterback to successfully run out a clock to both end a half and close out a game while his own offense maintains possession of the football. Quinn specifically noted he did not need to use timeouts until a particular point in that sequence, reflecting genuine composure from his quarterback in that specific situation. Quinn also acknowledged watching some encouraging arm strength flashes from his quarterback specifically on certain play-action passing concepts throughout the game, while being equally honest that both quarterbacks likely have a handful of specific throws they would like to have back, including an interception thrown by one quarterback and a sack taken by the other in a situation Quinn felt should have instead resulted in simply throwing the football away to prevent a larger loss of yardage. He characterized both of those specific mistakes as valuable learning opportunities he fully expected heading into this game, emphasizing that his primary evaluation criteria moving forward will not center on whether mistakes happen at all, since he already anticipated they would, but rather on whether those same specific mistakes get repeated in the future or whether his quarterbacks demonstrate real, tangible growth from them. He also praised one quarterback specifically for effectively getting his teammates properly prepared once thrust unexpectedly into the game, acknowledging he obviously did not want to see the starting option at that position exit the game earlier than planned, but praising the backup for appearing genuinely ready for that specific moment, delivering a couple of quality throws and successfully converting some crucial situational plays needed at that point in the game, specifically following a long, difficult opposing scoring drive against this team. So there you have it, football fans, a genuinely thorough, candid postgame breakdown straight from Dan Quinn himself following this team's first preseason contest. Real praise for a talented rookie safety class making its collective debut. Genuine appreciation for backup running backs stepping up without hesitation. A fascinating, detailed look into exactly how this coaching staff balances individual player evaluation against broader schematic package development. Real recognition for a young linebacker's continued growth into a legitimate defensive leadership role. And an honest, unfiltered acknowledgement of exactly which specific stretch of this game left Quinn feeling less than satisfied. Between the encouraging individual performances and the honest self-assessment of areas needing improvement, this post-game press conference offered genuine insight into exactly how this coaching staff evaluates every single snap of preseason football. So now it is your turn, and we genuinely want to hear what you think about everything covered in this press conference. Which specific player performance from this preseason opener stood out to you the most? Are you encouraged by the growth Dan Quinn described in Ali Cajo Rex's overall game? And how concerned are you about that rocky opening defensive drive Quinn specifically addressed? Drop your thoughts and reactions down in the comments section below because we absolutely love hearing what all of you think. If this breakdown helped you get fully caught up on everything from this preseason opener, do us a favor and smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach even more passionate fans just like yourself. And if you have not already subscribed, now is the perfect time, because we are going to be right here bringing you every single post-game breakdown and every bit of behind-the-scenes coaching insight all the way through this incredibly compelling season. Thanks so much for watching, and we will catch you in the very next update.